Okie dokie. Good, 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 good. All right, let's go ahead and just come right into our wide squat. Breathing. Exhale. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. One more. Very good. All right, and let's come all the way back in to our parallel and take our bend, straighten, lift, and lower. The heels. Activate a little core right here. You can center the pelvis. And then roll through each foot. Stretch those toes. Breathing it out. Good. And then let's lie down the top of the toes gently into the mat or floor. Get a top of foot stretch. Other side. Good. And shake that out. Let's come back to our shoulders. And let's also come back to our upper body, upper back work, which we haven't done in a little bit. Just up this. So palms up, and we're going to swing them. We're going to leave them back there. We're going to head up overhead, doing that opposite elbow tap, and you can change which forearm goes in front, and then just do a quick check on that pelvis and recenter it. Having to focus a lot on where my pelvis is due to this injury, so extra checking all the time right now to bring it back into center. Good. Roll that. Let's also do this guy where we reach forward, pull the elbows back, outward rotate, and then just gently glide them around and back in front to do it again. To pull, slight outward rotation, nice and easy, right through there. And one more. Got it. Roll those out. And then let's also, I haven't done this one in a while, where we take our palms back up, we come back up and tap ourselves on the same side of the shoulder area and then back down. So again, center the pelvis, come up, pat, and then back down. So you're just gliding with the arms slightly behind the torso if they can go. Whatever works for their range. Keep the head nice and stacked. Belly button in. Good. Now we're going to keep this top position and just go on to our little drill team arms or rocket arms, whichever you prefer. Or cheerleader, I suppose. Feeling those blades stay down in the back. Nice. And then just ease them back down. Whew. Roll that out. Yeah. And then just take a single shoulder roll at a time back. Smooth. Whew. All right, you got it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and head on down to the mat, and we're going to keep grooving with some stretch. All right, let's do this one again a little bit. So straight on for hamstrings, we're going to tuck that one foot right to the inside of the long leg at a flexible point. Then relax the foot and we're going to ease forward. I might not have much of a range today. That's okay. You do you. So you're just going to allow the head to hang and breathe. Relax the neck, the shoulders. And back up. Then we're going to take the opposite hand and slide it down the outer leg as far as it can go. Hold there, breathe it out. And back up. And we're going to switch it out. Other side, add your flex and point. And then just walk center first with the torso hanging. Release the neck, the shoulders. Big breath. And then up and slide that opposite hand down the leg as far as it'll go. Breathe it out. And back up. And then just shake those out. Let's also, another one we haven't done in a little bit, and that's the bottoms of the feet together, creating a nice diamond shape. So we are going to just walk the torso forward again and round it. And we'll restack, rotate over one thigh, and ease the torso down. Keep both cheeks grounded. Big breath. Let it go. And up and rotate. Ease it down. And then one more back to center. And back up. All right. Stretch out those legs. And let's go ahead and come on into our back. So we're going to go ahead and recenter or center up on the mat. Check your pelvis, your shoulders, your head. And we are going to right away, this is one of the things I'm having to do an awful lot of right now. I'm going to just tilt or tuck into a 6 and go real slow, but keep going. How deep can your 6 get? How much can you really lengthen your lumbar into the mat? And hold on to that stretch right now. So you've got a nice contraction. One of the things that this is doing is stretching your iliopsoas connection into the lumbar. And now I'm also going to have you just tilt the pelvis gently to one, just top of one cheek, and hold that so you're still in a 6. Now you're going to baby rock so you can feel the one side of your back lengthening into the mat. Feel it just melting open. Then gently right through the center, rock to the other, just the top of the cheek. It's just enough to feel your SI area. Just lengthen that into the mat. Breathe it out. Hold that stretch. Good. Then back to center and then release it out. All right, now we're going to go on from there and go on to our rounded bridge. So we can open up the feet. We're getting 6 o'clock. Now you can really hone in on that deep 6 to peel up one vertebrae at a time. Take a breath and a long exhale to bring down each vertebra. Release it out and go again. But really focus on the deepest 6 you can create and maintain as it travels up into the air. Hold on to it as you come down. Keep that contraction. And then release it out. Long exhale. Keep focusing on deep, deep 6. Good. Now we're going to stay in neutral, flex up on the heels, and do some neutral core lifting. So now we're going to gather that center, press down through both heels to lift, hydraulically lift up, touch it down, and then go again. So we want your ribs and pelvis to travel together. Also make sure that the pelvis feels centered. It's easy for it to shift to one side, so you can give that a check with your hands. And that both legs are pressing as equally as they can. Gather it up. Inhale to touch. Exhale to go. Good. All right, now we're going to bring the feet into parallel and go back to rounded bridge. So hold at 6 o'clock again for a moment. Let that deep lumbar stretch. So just tuck it, lengthen the low back, hold it, breathe it out. Gently rock to one back side of your waist, top part of your glute, feel that stretch. Other side, hold there. Breathe it out. Back to center. And now we'll release it and then go again. Rounded bridge. 6 o'clock. Keep it as deep as you can to peel it up and peel it down. Hold that contraction. Quick check to make sure the pelvis is gliding in center. not too far over to one side. And one more. Good. Now we're going to stay here in neutral core lift. So we're in a parallel still. Gather that center together as you press down to hydraulically lift. Inhale to touch. Remember, you're going to land on your sacrum and your mid-back when you're truly in neutral. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Good. And come down for landing. Now we're going to go into feet and knees together, down your midline, and we're going to rock up onto the heels, and we're going to do more neutral core lifts pressed in here. So gather that center again, exhale, press it up, inhale to touch. You won't go quite as high. Just keep the thighs pressing into one another. Ribs and pelvis still traveling together. And back down. All right, let's hook underneath each knee. Give a gentle hug. And a baby rock and roll side to side. Good. Then lengthen. Let's actually take a moment, do our bend and straightening, flex and pointing. Good, good, good. All right, feet back down for a moment. We'll come back to that. Yep, arms above, and we are upper body curl. I'll get it out in a minute. So half upper body curl, curling and reaching. Inhale back. Good. Now, I'm going to add some challenge to this. We're going to pick up both feet, glue the knees together, and just create a little tabletop. You're going to continue to curl now toward the legs, half upper body curl. But now your low abdominals are kicked in. Very good. Now we're going to go to lengthen legs straight up. Hold them there. You can keep the knees slightly bent if you need to. But just keep your lumbar nice and long. Exhale, continue to curl. Very good. Fold those back, feet to the floor, and wiggle that neck around until any fatigue is cruising on. Very good, very good. All right, I would like to do, yeah. All right, we are going to do some just old-fashioned hamstring stretches. Old-fashioned. Okay, I'm going to have you, even without a prop, we're going to go back through and just circle, hold on to one thigh, and you're just going to circle it gently in the socket. And all you're telling it to do is relax as many muscles inside the hip socket as you can. So just let it go around and around. We do all this with props, but this is a good reminder that we can do them without. And you just want to loosey-goosey that hip. Now you're going to hold on and you're going to slowly lengthen the back of the knee. Now maybe it needs to pull down. That's okay. Wherever it needs to go, just hold there for a moment. Let's circle the ankle one way. And reverse. And let's do that bent knee thing again. So you're just going to keep it relaxed in the socket. You're going to keep that sacrum on the floor. You're going to pull the thigh towards you. Slowly straighten the leg. And it might, to get it to go straight, it might have to rearrange its spot and air. That's fine. Hold on to that now. Just make sure your sacrum's grounded. Now we're going to flex and point. And that's where you're going to feel all kinds of neuro tightness here. That's okay. A little flossing. Flex and point. Woo! Yep. Tighter than I thought. Okay. All right. Bend it in. Three's a charm. Easy does it. Just groove that little hip joint around again. All right. Then we're going to try to keep the thighs close to you as you can, to your chest. As you lengthen the leg again, hold on to it. Even if it had to go away, that's okay. But get it to as straight a knee as you can and just be one with that lengthening of the hamstring. Good. All right, we're going to fold that in and switch sides for a moment. We'll come back. All right, second side. Moving that thigh around like an internal hip socket, gentle, relaxing, letting go massage. Around one way and then another. Just loosey-goosey in there. Then we're going to slowly straighten the leg. If it pulls away, that's fine. Just go with it. And we're going to circle the ankle. And reverse. All right, we're going to bend it in again. Relaxing movement in the socket. And the thigh. Keep the sacrum down. Keep the thigh as close to your chest as you can. And we're going to lengthen it up. If it pulls away, that's fine. Just go with it. And then we're going to add our flex and point. Okay. And third time. Little hip socket grooving. Pull the thigh in, lengthen the leg. Keep it as close to you now as you can, with as straight a back of knee as you can. Hold it, be one with it. Breathe it. Oh yeah. All right, bring that one down. Let's come back to the first one. We're gonna hold on to the thigh again, just one more time, little circle. This time we're gonna go up. We're gonna hold on to that leg, and we're gonna slide the other leg to the floor. And just allow that stretch again for a moment. Bend it again. Keep bringing that thigh even closer. With the leg to the floor, other leg down. Lengthen it. Breathe it. Rub it. Whatever you gotta do, talk nice to it. And then one more. Bring it in. Keep that thigh coming in. Hold it towards you. Lengthen the back of the knee. Woohoo! Hold on to it. If you need to take it out of a lot of stretch for a second, try the circle the ankle again. Reverse. Flex and point. Woo! My goodness. That's tight. Woo! Hold a flex. Eesh. Okay. And then bring that back down. All right. Actually send both legs out for a moment and just wiggle, wiggle. See, discovering all kinds of tight spots. All right, let's fold them back in again for a moment. Come back to the second side. Little thigh circle or movement in the socket. And then we're going to lengthen that leg again. Hold on to it as you slowly straighten out the bottom leg. And just be one with this stretch. Notice what's tight where, what's pulling. All right, we're going to bend the knee again. Now, keep letting the thigh come more and more towards your chest. Big breath. Exhale, lengthen the leg up. Hold it there. Breathe it. Woo. Bend it again. Keep drawing it in closer and closer to your chest. Lengthen it up. Hold it. Rub it. Talk sweet. Try not to curse. All right, loosen it a little bit. Circle the ankle again. Reverse. Flex and point. Woof. Well, my calves are tighter than I thought they were, especially right in the tippy top, right behind the knee. So, it's good stuff. One more good stretch. And then send it down to the other leg and flippity floppity. Oh yeah. All right. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm in stretchy mode. All right, we're going to bring both knees back in and all the way in. Then we're going to bring both legs back up. And we're going to do a little cross-country ski. See what that looks like after you've actually stretched those hammies. Good. Now we're going to hold on to one leg. Now that they're already stretched, we're going to let the other one float down all the way back up. Hold on to that leg and switch. Breathing. Pulling inward with that core. Good. Take a pause. If you'd like to add the upper body curl, hold there. Add a few more switches in. and then back in, and feet back down, wiggle out the neck. Excellent. All right. Da da da, dee da ba, dee ba da ba da ba da, dee da da da, da 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 da. Okay, one more. Legs back in. I promise. Legs back up. This time we're going wide. So now we're gonna go into inner thigh stretch. While you're even out here, let's see about flexing and pointing and how straight can the back of the knees go. Good. Then bend at the knees. Keep a hold. Bring them up slightly on an angle. Hold that. And then ease the feet back down to the mat. And then let's take our feet wide and double knee fold to one side. Melting everything you can. Up and over to the other side. And back to center. And then I'm just going to have you come back to that deep six. Go back into that, lengthen the lumbar into the mat. Hold that stretch again. Take it gently to one side of the back of the waist. Hold it. Then the other side. Back to center. And then release it. All right, we are going to cross ankle over knee. Just realize I can turn this up. So you're doing slow-mo butterfly wing. Nice and easy. Again, that feeling of releasing as much tension around the hip as you can. Then we'll use our core to pick up the figure four. Ease it in. You can flex the front foot if you feel like you need more stability for the knee. And chin back down. Hold there, breathe. Ease that down. Second side, slow-mo butterfly wing first. Loosey-goosey in that hip joint. Let it go. Release your jaw also. Forgot to cue for that when we're dealing with hips. And then figure four in. Flex the front foot. Breathe it out. Very good. All right, then just take a rock around your pelvic clock one way and reverse. Good. Onward to sideline. We're going to stretch out the legs and take that top leg, so just center up in the pelvis. Take the top leg, draw it in, knee towards your shoulder, straight up, flex, and control the lowering. Easy on the neck. We'll do one more. Leave it up there in the air. Bend the bottom knee so we can balance. Grab where we can on the leg. In this position, relax the front thigh as best you can and slowly draw it towards your ear. Again, just keep telling it to relax in the hip socket. Lower that down and then just tuck that foot back. Stretch out the bottom leg and let's lift inside of that leg. Very good. All right, let's bring that together. Give this hip some loving. All right, ease it on up. Other side. Nice long legs. Really stretch out the leg that you just worked. Center the pelvis, slight 6 if you need it. And then draw that big toe in along the bottom leg, knee toward the shoulder, straight up, flex, and control the lowering. Good. One more. We're going to leave it up there. knee, bottom knee, grab where you can. Tell that thigh in the front to release. Some loosey-goosey vibes to the hip, and just slowly draw it toward the ear. Let it float down, tuck it back, and lift and lower the inside of the bottom leg. Bring that all together, give this hip some loving. We are going to roll into our bellies momentarily. Let's see here. Let's relax the legs and push that pubic bone into the mat. And let's come back to our goalpost position, hovering the nose off the mat. So just really keep your quads, your glutes fired so that you don't lose contact with the pelvis in the front for any of this extension work. All right, so belly button in and up. You're gonna lengthen the neck. You're just hovering your nose just off the mat. You're gonna see if you can bring one arm up toward the sky and down, then the other one. Imagine the shoulder blade gliding in toward the spine and then away. And then just keep coming back to what the pelvis is doing, what your core is doing. Can you keep that pubic bone grounded? While we move each arm one at a time, up and then down, up and then down. Elbows are bent. Good. Now we're going to push that pubic bone in, big time, pull up and in the core, and we're going to go for both. So cinch your waist, tighten up your corset, glutes are fired, exhale, hover both arms up and lower down, hover up, lower down. Long neck, keep the chin connected toward the chest, pubic bone down, belly button up, keep going. Keep breathing. Very nice. Rest your forehead on your hands. Take a breather, relax. Let's come back to those thighs coming all the way in toward each other, touching underneath you. Bend at the knees. Take your thighs on a walk. And let's just do our out and in with the lower leg. Keep the thighs connected. Out and in, out and in. Nice and easy. Then take them around in a little opposite circle from one another. re-lengthen them, make sure your pubic bone is grounded, and then come back to the side opening of the lower leg. Just let them pop open, but keep your front pelvic bones grounded and just let them relax here in a stretch. The more longer they hang out, the more your outward rotators will release. And then just ease them back down underneath you. All right, we're going to ease up onto the elbows, gently ease up and back into child's pose. Stretch your hands. Good. Then ease up onto all fours. Take our C curve. Here's another spot where you're doing a deep six. And then just do the best you can and hold that. And then release it out to neutral. We're going to tuck our toes. We were working on this before, I think with the ball, but we can do this without. So I want you to just find that beautiful posture from head to tail. You can take your hands as wide as you feel like you need them, but kind of underneath for stability. And we're going to stay as equal as we can on the arms and our toes. We're going to really cinch in some core, and we're going to just press to hover the knees for a moment, and then lower down. Inhale, exhale, cinch in the core first, hover, and gently down. Exhale, keep good alignment in that lumbar, hover, and down, exhale, hover, down, one more, and down. Very good. All right, we're going to take one foot on a little stroll around and up onto the mat for a lunge stretch. And we're going to walk our hands up to greet that foot. So remember, we want the shin straight up and down. We want long hip flexors. Lift the head. You can go from your palms to your fists at any point. Now we're also going to take a moment and slightly shift towards your bent knee side, allowing the back thigh to roll just a bit toward the inner knee, the inside of your knee slightly. You're going to feel a deeper stretch there in your loins. Still iliopsoas. That's the other end of your iliopsoas. Exactly. Then we're going to come back to center, and we're going to stay forward and lift the lower leg and do a quick check-in with some thighs, which I have found out are very tight lately. So, yeah, lower that down. Let's try that again. If mine are tight, I can't imagine. But doing an awful lot of dancing these days, so. Whew. Ease that down, gentle sit back, go slow. Unwalk that foot. Ease it in, and take the other one on a stroll. All the way up, onto the mat, hands up to greet. Head up, breathe it out. flexors. All right, here's where we want to do a slight shift towards your bent knee side. Allow the back thigh to roll slightly in toward the inside of the knee. You'll feel it. Welcome to this side of your iliopsoas. Hooks in at that femur. Woo-hoo. That's not tight at all. Okay, then back to the top of the knee, and then we will shift forward to lift that lower leg. Check in with this quad. Woo! My. Goodness, did they get tight. All right, lower down. Let's try that again. Exhale. Lift it in. Whew. Easy down, easy, gentle sit back, unwalk that foot, and we'll swing it around. Okay, tucking those toes, ease it through the squat. Hold here for a lengthening. And then bottoms up. Hang upside down. You can open up the feet. And just hang. Let your spine decompress. Let your organs release. Very good. Send your feet some love. We will soften the knees, slowly walk up and stack. Give all that a little shake, shake. All right. Then we will do our other standing. So similar, what we just did, we're going to take our feet, our back foot out, our front toes that way, so making it this shape. We're going to take that same stretch we've been working on. So here's the standing version of what we were doing with the inside of the knee on the back leg, taking a shift. Same, but it's a lot deeper when we're on the floor. And then just swivel that around. Good. And then back to center. So something we have not done in a super long time, but I thought might be good, is to do a quick stack of alignment. And I know we know, but I just found out recently that maybe my pelvis has been tilting anteriorly way too much, which could be part of what's happened. So I thought, well, what the heck? Let's just remember how to do this. So parallel feet, toes straight ahead. And if you do a quick lift of your toes, it will lift your arches, and you can see where that could be, should be. And you want the balance between the first and fifth metatarsal and your heel. But when the toes lift, it shifts your weight slightly to the outer foot. Because sometimes we might be really rolling into our arches. And that could be going all the way up the leg. So we don't want that. It also helps us remember then with the toes up, if you go to bend and straighten your knees right above it, it's going to help automatically align those femurs, thigh muscles. So that's a good checkpoint. Then, just turn this down. Then I I want you to just take a moment, just relax the toes. Let's come to the pelvis. Now, if you tend to hyperextend, I don't know that any of you are hyperextended in the knees, but if you are, the best thing to do is just come slightly out of it. You still have a straight knee, but you're not going that way. They're right underneath you, and you want to feel those quads kick in for support. Okay, let's go to the pelvis, because we've got a number of things here I want to talk about, because I'm having to relearn it myself right this minute. Where's your 6 o'clock? Right? You might have to bend your knees slightly. Your deep 6, where you have quite the contraction in the waist. The pelvic bones are trying to make contact with the ribs, literally. And you have a nice contraction there. And you're very open in your lumbar. So that's the deep 6 we were working on. Just know that you can do this up against a wall, which I've been doing very religiously lately. You just take your feet away from the wall, and you can stretch that lumbar into the wall, even when you can't get to the floor. All right, now, if you stick your tail out and you anteriorly tilt slightly, that's your 12 o'clock. So even from standing, you can do 6 to 12, 6 to 12. And in 12, that's where you're going to have a little bit more lumbar curve. In your 6, you're not going to have any. It's going to be nice and long. Now, where is halfway in between? Halfway in between your 6 and your 12. And you should feel a little bit of an activation in your core to have to hold that. And the other thing is do a quick check. Hold your hands to the sides of your pelvis. And we're going to go to some extremes. So what happens if you just sit in each hip? Can you feel those muscles firing when you shift? Now, where is center? So that there's not an overfiring to one side, but they feel equal. And then come back to that 6, that balance between 6 and 12. And laterally. Welcome to center. Yeah, mine has been all over the map. Because what happens when muscles get really tight or fragile or injured, other muscles start to take over and pull on our bones and pull on our structure. So anyway, good little lesson on needing to really truly come back to center in every way. All right, let's move on up. So let that be for a moment. Let's move on up to some ribs. Take a little movement up here. And know that they can go forward and back and around. That's your thoracic spine connected to your rib cage. Quite a lot of movement in there if we let it, which is good. Should be mobile, even if it makes a lot of crunchy noises. So same idea with the ribs. They can go forward, they can go back, they can go side to side. So if you're holding on to the ribs with your full hand, where is center for them? Where they're not too flared to the front, they're not too concave, and they seem centered over your now centered pelvic bowl. We're going to put the lid on with a centered rib cage. You might have to really stay activated to keep that pelvis steady. Depends on your structure. Okay, now we've centered that. We're off to the shoulders, which we know we want to have a little breath, right? Just a little breath. We don't want scrunchyville, but the shoulders just need to be able to sit in a neutral alignment. And then once we stack our head, that our ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankles all align. But it's just that little openness in the shoulders. You don't have to overdo it. But remember, we used to do this where we'd go to swing our arms, and if we were swinging across, then we were probably collapsing in the shoulder and or the back. So once we center the back, open the shoulders, technically our thumbs should swing forward. All right, and then we're up to the head. So we want to take this big old bowling ball. We could do some extremes here too. We could jet the chin forward slightly. We can press it back. We can go forward. We can go back. Forward and back. And now where is center? Where your chin is level. Eyeballs are centered in the sockets. Might also have, I know I have a right to left thing, that's a scolio thing. But just centering that head where you really feel like the cervical is super long and not scrunched, but just really back and lifted. All right, so once we get all of that, centered pelvis, ribs, open shoulders, lengthened cervical, we might feel like we're in our heels, and that's not a terrible thing. But just take that nice, beautiful posture now and rock it from balls to heels. Now, where is your center? Right over your arches. Where's a little bit more, your heels are still grounded, but it's a little bit more get up and go vibe, and you've got some groundedness in the balls of your feet too. But you're activated and you're as stacked as you can be. Good, now just take some, without collapsing anything, just take some deep sighs here. And just soften the chest and let go of any anxiety or tension in the chest and neck. So also a reminder that we can be super tall and super aligned, but not have to hold a tremendous amount of tension to be here. I mean, right now I'm having to stay very activated because of what I got going on. But the injury really anteriorly tilted me, and so I'm working hard to come back to center. And it's helping a lot. So, hey, we got to do what we got to do. At least we always got the basics to come back to and find center, which is quite a lifeism too, right? Pilates meets life. Things are trying to throw us off our center, clearly. So we get to make the conscious choice of coming back to our center, holding our own and being one with who we really are and doing the best we can with this body, this amazing body of ours. So give yourself some love. Talk to it nice. Remember, it listens to everything you say, so be sweet. And hopefully that little checkpoint of alignment stuff might be good reminders. And all kinds of wonderful things we can do up against a wall, which I'd love to have a wall class someday. Someday, we find a wall where everybody can find a wall. But anyways, I hope that felt good to you guys.